Matthew Stuckey here from Verity Baptist Church Manila and Verity Baptist Church Pampanga with a quick missionary update. And this past week we counted 71 salvations. It's the best results we've had ever since the whole lockdown started here, the whole quarantine thing. And it was with conservative counting, actually. We were pretty conservative with the overall numbers that we counted, but we had a lot of people out soul winning, and we have both churches up and running and doing big things. Pampanga hit double-digit salvations for the third time in 4 weeks, and 4 straight weeks of double-digit soul winners. So 11 salvations from 11 soul winners, so that's great. And so things are up and running there and going really well. It's very receptive there, and we got a lot in Pampanga. There's about 2 million people to reach, but that's kind of like hitting like 8 million or 10 million in the States because it's so receptive. That soul winning maps, you might give the gospel many times. I think my soul winning partner and I, we gave the gospel I think 4 times to a total of 5 people on Sunday, which was great. And so things are going well there. And 60 salvations we count in Manila, which is really good. And so overall, it's just the best week we've had in a long time. And so in terms of sermons that I preached, on Wednesday, I preached through Armageddon, Revelation 19b, and we finished all of Revelation 19, and I talked about Armageddon. And we'll be getting into Revelation 20 here soon. And Revelation 20 is a really packed chapter. There's a lot of sermons that you can find in there. A lot of different topics. So we'll be in Revelation 20 for a while. We still have a long time in the book of Revelation, but we're slowly going through that on Wednesday nights before we get to Hosea. On Sundays, we started a new series, Church Problems. We talked about the introduction this past week, and so it's going to be a long series. It's going to be a few months. And, by all means, though, if you're an online listener, if you check out the series, it's not just going to help you with church problems. It's going to help you out with marriage problems or work problems or pretty much any problems in your life. And this past week, what I really talked about was marriage problems, even though it was the introduction to church problems. And so we looked at Samson and all the problems in his life. And kind of the main thing to take away is that when you're having lots of problems in your life, when you're having lots of strife and fighting, and just everything's going wrong in your life, and I'm not talking about a storm of life. I'm not talking about you break your leg or something like that. But I'm saying when you have all these problems in every area of your life and everything, sometimes you got to just, look at yourself and realize that it's because, you have problems with yourself and it's causing a lot of problems in your life. Samson's a great example when you look at his life about how, he was the reason why he ended up with all those problems in his life. And so, we tend to blame other people. In reality, though, it's usually our own fault. And so we talked about that it's really something on the interior. And with the church, if the church has, a lot of sin or problems within it, it's going to cause a lot of church problems as a result. So we talked about that, and it's going to be a long series. We're going to cover a lot of different things. 1 Corinthians 3:3 is our theme verse, as it talks about envy, strife, and divisions. And then we also went through Romans as well. Romans 6b, whom will ye serve? Are you going to serve sin, or are you going to serve God? And so we talked about that on Sunday, and we'll have those sermons uploaded later this week. Right now, the internet is pretty slow here where I'm at, both with my Smart and my Globe. And I'm trying to do it at the right time of day. I mean, it takes a while, so I've been uploading at a little bit lower quality. The audio is still fine, and the video is still fine. It's not so bad, but not even uploading at the highest setting, it's just taking a long time, and so it's a little bit hard to get the sermons up. We've been able to get every sermon up. One sermon we intentionally did not put up, but outside of that, we put up every sermon. And so, but it does take a little bit of time, so I'm not always able to get them up at the first of the week. It kind of depends on the speed of the internet and the size of the file and everything such as that. But anyways, we appreciate everyone for tuning into our ministry and everything. Just continue to be in prayer for us. One news of note, just in the country itself, is they just announced a few days ago that the Philippines is under a state of calamity for 1 year, till September of 2021. In regards to the coronavirus, and I'm not 100% sure what this means. I read some various things, so I'm not 100% sure, trying to figure out everything. I don't think that means we're in quarantine for a whole year, and they said it could be either loosened or it could be lengthened, depending on how things go. So I don't think it's that we're in quarantine for a year, but I think it's just in terms of, if for delegating finances for families that are struggling, being put into the government's hands or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, just be in prayer for us about that. Obviously, we would like things to return to normal. And given everything that's happened, there are a lot of people at our church that are struggling financially. And I know it's like that all over the world, obviously. People are struggling at this time. And in Asia, I think the Philippines, by most metrics, has been hit hardest with the coronavirus. from a financial standpoint, just of everything that's happened. Laos has been number one in some areas, but most areas I saw, the Philippines was number one, being hit the hardest. And so obviously there's a lot of our families that are affected and are still affected. There's people aren't really hiring so much right now and stuff like that. So just continue to be in prayer for our church and everything like that. It's just a difficult time right now, and I know it's like that all over the world though. And like-minded churches in the U.S. are getting protested right now. They have fires. Churches being restricted by the government and things like that. So it's just a crazy world right now, and so it is what it is. But anyways, just continue to be in prayer for our ministry. And thank you, and God bless.